All right, hi everyone. Marcus here from uTu, talking a little bit about the concept of bringing your bot or making your bot to be multi-channel. That's kind of one of the key underlying principles when we think about what makes a good bot and what you should be striving for. It's kind of the objectives for this quick overview is to kind of look at adjusting kind of vision for reality, then talking about how making your bot multi-channel kind of plays out across the listener, NLP, and AI. So again, the universal vision is that with your bot, to build it once, to have as much code reuse and consistent user experience as you can across every channel. However, depending upon the framework that you're using, whether it be BotKit, Microsoft Bot Builder, Dexter, different frameworks, they also kind of attack the bot with a certain point of view, and that you may find yourself having to kind of adjust the vision to kind of fit the technical reality. But definitely keep in mind, what you're aiming for, which is kind of this universal type approach. And if you get pulled too far from that, it's going to be harder to create a good, consistent user experience. So active listening, how can you not have a puppy in your presentation? So here, kind of the idea is listening, but with both ears. So something to kind of be mindful of when you're trying to make your bot multi-channel is that that the same bot is listening in multiple perspectives versus potentially having individual bots only listening with a single ear. It definitely gets to be much more semantical when you think about actually deploying the bot. That if your kit is kind of forcing you into a direction that you have to start standing up really multiple bots, that's going to get much harder to kind of deliver that consistent experience. So be very mindful of with how many ears that you're listening from, truly with a singular bot. Also thinking in terms of with the NLP, the different dialects spoken across the different channels that you're trying to engage, that how something would potentially be expressed, verbally, which you may be trapping via Alexa or in written text, like on a Facebook Messenger, can be quite different. But also in terms of like with Alexa, where you're going to be writing something, potentially a mustache notation, where if you're a bot kit doing something for Facebook Messenger, you may be doing generalized regular expressions. So ultimately, maybe trying to say the exact same things, but you may have to state them differently for the different platforms. And now, with that said, even with the vision of this idea of creating a consistent experience and a lot of code reuse across the different channels that you engage, there's also the idea of being able to maximize the complementary capabilities. So here we have the hero family of the Incredibles, where they each have different skills that make them good at different things. Would think likewise in terms of, in the time that you're making a response to, let's say, Facebook Messenger, what can you do to maximize the tools they give you, like being able to maybe use a structured message to kind of form the response in a very kind of effective way for the user. So great for Facebook Messenger, but that wouldn't work at all on a voice-based like Alexa. So definitely kind of looking at, particularly the point of response, are you able to kind of maximize what the different channels can do? All right, so a quick perspective on some things to keep in mind when considering deploying your bot in a multi-channel way. To continue on with this, some more resources. certainly join us at betterbots.utu.ai.